If you want to sound like a native speaker or understand native speakers of English, then you need to know phrasal verbs. So let's take a look at what they are and start using them in your speech. So, what are phrasal verbs? Well, obviously, it's a type of verb, and it's very common in American English, or English anywhere, really. So let's start by looking at an example. So in this sentence, he figured out how to fix it. The phrasal verb is figured out. So, a phrasal verb is a verb with two or more words. And every phrasal verb is going to have at least two words, and it will have two parts. It will have the verb, and it will have the particle. The particle is usually a preposition, but it can be different words also. So let's look at some rules about how to use these phrasal verbs. Rule number 1 is that a particle cannot change its position. The particle is always after the verb. So in this sentence, it's not correct because we have the particle before the verb, and we need to change it to be in the correct position. So, when we put the verb in front, we get the correct use. He figured out, not he outfigured. So now it's correct. Let's look at another rule with phrasal verbs. In this sentence, he figured outed how to fix it. We also have an error because the particle cannot be conjugated. It will never change, no matter if it's in the past or the present or the future. So we need to take away the conjugation, and then the sentence will be correct. He figured out. Never change the particle, never change the position or conjugation. Let's look at another rule. This is not really a rule, just an observation. The verb can be in any tense: past, present, future, passive voice, any tense at all. So in this sentence, I have woken up at 6 o'clock. I was waking up at 6 o'clock. I woke up at 6 o'clock. And I wake up at 6 o'clock. We have 4 different verb tenses for the main verb, 4 conjugations. But, again, notice that the particle does not change. There is no conjugation. Up is the same in every sentence. And the last important observation about phrasal verbs for this introduction is that most phrasal verbs have a definition that is not the same as the main verb by itself. So, for example, turn off does not mean turn. Pick up does not mean to pick. Look over does not mean to look. And get up does not mean to get. Now, sometimes the phrasal verb and the verb will have a very similar meaning or even the same meaning, but sometimes it will not. So you need to make sure that you treat every phrasal verb like a new, unique vocabulary word. Do not try to figure out the meaning of the phrasal verb by looking at the meaning of the preposition and the meaning of the main verb. Well, let's just take a little opportunity to practice identifying some phrasal verbs in some example sentences. See if you can spot the phrasal verb. Can you turn off the light? Where is the phrasal verb? Turn off. Let's look at another one. They want to eat out tonight. Eat out is the phrasal verb. She is picking up her kids from school. Picking up is the phrasal verb. So let's review this introduction to phrasal verbs. The first thing to remember is that the particle cannot be conjugated or change positions. The second observation is that the verb can be in any tense. And finally, treat phrasal verbs like a new vocabulary word. If you start to use phrasal verbs in your vocabulary, it will greatly improve your speaking and comprehension. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Don't forget that you can go to listenlearnspeak.net and you can find the podcast there with transcripts. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos coming in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.